shake my head at the beginning.
6 and 6 TV with another road game recap. Kevin's shaking his head because this is take number 2. We didn't record the first take. But yeah, Raptors another win on the road. These guys just continue to impress. We got a special guest in the house. And this time it's a female Raptors fan, which we're all about. Tiffany, tell them who you are. Tell them how much you love the Raptors. And I want to know something that we asked all the fans outside after the Philly game. Where were you during that shot, during the Kawhi shot, 4 bounces? I know you're a diehard fan. You probably broke something in the house just like we did. So run me through that moment through your eyes.
So I was actually in Toronto for my bridal shower, and luckily we finished in time, so that evening I got to watch the game. So I was at home with my parents and my brother, and it was epic.
Well, hold on. So what would have happened if the you probably had the bridal shower sometime before the playoff schedule? What would have happened if the bridal shower and the playoff game fell on the same day? What would you have chosen?
No. So it did fall on the same day, but I made sure it was earlier because they specifically knew that I wanted to watch the game.
Of course. That's a true Raptors fan. All right, let's get right into the topics. Kevin, talk to me about this Orlando game. A little bit of a struggle offensively, but defensively it was completely stellar. Tell me how you saw it.
Yeah, it was one of those, it's really an ugly game, to be honest. Someone messaged me and said, man, everybody had too much turkey last night. And I think it's true. And Siakam definitely had too much turkey last night because he had a terrible shooting game. But Norman Powell stepped up. I think he had his career high tonight, which was good. But yeah, it was one of those ugly games. But, somehow this team keeps pulling out these wins. I feel like one of these games, I keep thinking that they're going to let it slide and they're going to lose one of these games, but they're not. They're continuing to play as a team. Defense is shutting things down, especially second half there. They completely shut Orlando down. At one point going into the fourth, I think they only had 18 points for the entire half, which is stellar. So again, they shut it down. They got the win, and that's what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I think I heard it was 8-2 record since the two big guys went down, Ibaka and Lowry. I don't think any one of us would have actually that. All right, Tiffany, this one's for you. Siakam. Where does he go from here, and how much faith you have in him as the number one scorer in the playoffs? We asked this question a lot outside, and people are chanting MVP. I think it's a bit early for that. People, talking about how they have complete faith in him as the number one scorer. How much faith do you have in him taking over as basically what Kawhi did last year in the playoffs?
I mean, I don't think we can compare him to Kawhi, but I think he does a lot for someone who wasn't scoring today. He pulled in the rebounds. He's playing defense. He's still in the game without necessarily scoring for the team, which says a lot.
Yeah, I like that. You make a good point because when DeMar had a good, had a bad shooting game, I don't think he was putting up rebounds or assists or any of those other numbers that were contributing to the team. So yeah, fair point. Kevin, no pull for Iggy. No pull, career high game. There was a rumor floating around the last couple of days about a potential trade, Norman Powell for Iguodala. Would you even entertain that? And please tell me you're going to say no.
I would more than entertain it, and you don't want to get blinded by today's game. Look at Norman Powell's complete Raptor track record and tell me he was consistent. And if you say he's consistent, you're lying because he's not consistent.
Have you heard the term playoff foul?
Hold on, man. Hold on. You asked me a question. So, and then in addition to that, you got to look at it not for regular season. Let's fast forward to the playoffs. Do you want a veteran guy who's going to put up points, lock down the best player on the other team if you need him to, which he can still do? The answer to that question is yes. So I would pull the trigger and I would go Norman Powell, sayonara.
Who did he lock down last year? Who did he lock down last year?
Whoa, hold on a second. They had a tough year. They had injuries last year. Don't worry about last year. He's going to be a Raptor now. He fits into the culture. His defensive mindset, I would pull the trigger.
No, I'm a trade no pull.
Okay, I know you're not. I know you're not.
DeMar, this one won't go away. This trade rumor about DeMar, potentially coming back to Toronto. Tiffany, would you even entertain the idea of him coming back here at all in any capacity, whether it's on the bench or starting lineup? Would you even talk about that being a possibility?
I don't think so. I think his time is done as a Raptor. I don't think, like we were talking about Siakam, he does more for the team even though he's not scoring, whereas DeMar is just taking more shots. He wasn't, like, you couldn't count on him defensively, so I don't think it makes sense. I think we've grown as a team when he left, and I think that's it.
Love it. I'm in total agreement, and I think that's an honest opinion from a Raptors fan. All right, guys. Nick Nurse, 100 games in. There's a stat that came out today about how through 100 games, there's only a small list of coaches that have actually won a championship and have won 70-plus games. You've seen the defense we've applied to some of the superstars of the last 5 games. Kevin, talk to me about whether he's in the running for Coach of the Year and how much of an impact he's made on this team.
He's not in the running. If it ended today, he is the Coach of the Year in my books. I mean, to go through the injuries of losing a starter in Lowry and losing Ibaka, who is your number one guy off the bench, and doing what he's doing with this team, and not only doing what he's doing with the team, but getting the most out of a bench who has not seen a lot of NBA time. I mean, there's something to be said to that. So, I mean, I'm glad we're talking about it because I feel like with everything going on with the Raptors nurses and we're not talking about him, he deserves all the love and 100%. He's the reason the Raptors are doing what they're doing. I feel like, and he deserves all the credit in the world. Kudos to him, 100%.
Well said, man. We're big fans of Nick Nurse here, so we'll give him all the time for appreciation. All right, last one. Tiffany, this one's for you. I'm going to read a snippet here from Kyrie's Instagram post. So bear with me for a second. Think again. It's a game, and it's promoted as a fandom experience for ticket buyers and viewers at home, while defacing who people truly are as people. Then spat out all over these media networks as valuable food for thought, while they actually believe that their opinions hold weight to real cultural leaders that speak and act. All right, Tiffany. Break that down for you. Tell me if you understood what he was saying and what his message was.
I mean, it's a lot. I think I get where he's saying that as fans, we expect to get the inside on what it is to be a player. But at the same time, as a person, you need to respect them as people, that there is a boundary. We don't have, or we shouldn't be entitled to everything. But without the fans, like, he wouldn't be making the millions of dollars that he is. So it's kind of double-edged sword.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tricky one because, like you said, without the fans, there's no league, and at the same time, you have these personalities like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman just going to town and completely ripping some of these guys apart. Okay, last one. I know we're out of topics, but I want to finish on this because I know Tiffany's a massive Raptors fan, has been through pain like the rest of us had prior to this championship. Where do you see this team? We often ask fans outside the Scotiabank about this team and whether they are going to go back-to-back. And we hear from fans all the time, we're going back-to-back. They're so confident. I don't know if I'm in that boat yet. You've seen so many iterations of this team, and you've seen iterations of superstars like DeMar, even Kyle to some extent, that have looked so good in the regular season and just shit the bed in the playoffs. So where do you put this team? Is this team close to the team we had last year, or closer to the teams that dominated in the regular season but couldn't get it done in the playoffs?
I think we're close to the team that we had last year. I think for me, seeing Kawhi, the superstar has changed its meaning. I think Kawhi is a real superstar. What we thought DeMar was when he was a superstar, I don't know if I would necessarily call him that anymore. I think Kawhi being on the team has taught the rest of the guys what it means to win, what your mental state should be at, and how you should physically be in order to win, and what it takes.
Yeah, beautifully said. I mean, we've seen the term championship residue kind of thrown around, and I thought it was an airy-fairy term prior to what happened. What's happening this year, you can see it. It's evident in every single game. The resilience, the confidence, and you realize how much value should be placed on the mentality of the team as well as the skill. All right, so we're good, guys. We made it through 6 topics, 6 minutes. Tiffany, thank you so much for coming on. We want you back for sure. That was awesome. But we're good. Done. Good night. God bless.
Peace.
Thanks.